Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So in this one, I want to talk about the Reapers, the new group I thought was an episode 17 thing, just solely an episode 17 group that really was maybe villains for like a Maggie spinoff, set that up right now. So in the future, if you were to do a Maggie spinoff set in the past and tell stories about what happened to her in Knoxville, then you would get into this group, right? Because there seemed to be a lot of backstory here. And that was the impression I got from episode 17 was that there's a lot more to this group, right? Like there was a lot of information we got, even though he didn't even talk or say anything really, or he did say something, but there was a lot of stuff that came up. And then yesterday, kind of the day before, I saw Angela Kang and a bunch of others talk more about this group and say that, yeah, we will be seeing a lot more than them. And it actually seems like we're going to be seeing a lot more of them this season in these 6 new episodes. So before we go any further, obviously this will contain spoilers for episode 17. If you haven't seen it yet, then yeah, I'm going to be talking about spoilers for that episode. If you are new here and you want more Walking Dead content like this, just make sure to hit subscribe. Now, as for who are the Reapers, I don't really know because like no one really knows, right? Like the group was introduced and all we know was that this group has been terrorizing Maggie and the little group that she had in Knoxville. Maggie opened up to Daryl in episode 17 and said that when she went to Knoxville, she helped some small group there. It was a very small group, like when compared to Hilltop and stuff, rebuild, and they started to, farm things and all of that. And then Georgie left. She went to a city to the west, and we'll talk about that in a separate video. But before knowing what happened to Georgie, the Reapers came and they lost everything, burnt everything down, and yeah, it was just a mess. And so they left, and they thought that they covered their tracks, but no, they didn't at all. This Reaper followed them all the way here, and just based on his look, obviously he has a lot of equipment, right? He has a lot of camouflage gear and he had that rifle. He seemed to be very skilled. He had a grenade and he also blew himself up with the grenade. Why? Why did he do that? Is that something in their code, right? Like there's something about this guy that as soon as that happened, I was just like, and he says, Pope marked you. So it's like, who's Pope, right? I don't really know because Maggie also doesn't know. It's not like the episode just set that up and Maggie knows exactly what he's talking about. Maggie doesn't know at all. She doesn't know anything about this group. She's just trying to stay away from them. But he says, Pope marked you. And I don't really know what that means other than it's most likely a leader in the community that has marked their group, right? And said, we need to get rid of them. So when he says that, it's just more of a threat. Like the Pope marked you. So people, the Reapers, we are going to be coming for you. Because if you just think of the name, the Reapers, right? Like, it's like the Grim Reaper. They are death. They are coming for you. I think that really is just that's the point of this group is that maybe the way they work is that if you don't, almost like with Negan and the Saviors, if you don't abide by their rules or if you don't want to give them certain resources and stuff, they'll mark you and then they'll kill you and they'll get their best hunters and stuff after you, right? I definitely think there's a lot more to them too. I don't think they're just like this small group of hunters or something. I actually think they're a lot bigger than that. I think this could be like former military stuff, right? It could really be like that. Former military stuff like mixed in with some religious stuff. And so the reason why I'm doing this video and not just talking about them in a sense that was an episode 17 thing, talk about potential spinoff stuff, but it's actually because we are likely going to see them again in these 6 new episodes. Denise Huth, she's a producer for The Walking Dead. I'm sure you guys know who she is. She recently said that we're going to see these Reapers again. Like we are actually going to see them and it's probably only a matter of time before we actually run into them. And so that's where the question of when are we going to meet the Reapers? And I think that's the question I have for you guys. Is Robert Patrick's character a Reaper? And I'm going to go out and say that, yeah, he looks like one. He does. There's this shot of him here. He kind of has a similar look, right? And he has a gun like that. He's also by himself. I think what happened is that he's not staying in this place. I think Gabriel and Aaron, they come to this place, they drink, whatever. They're trying to, because they're trying to gather resources, right, for Alexandria. So they're doing a supply run. I think this guy followed them there. I think they're out looking for Maggie. I think he's probably someone looking out for Maggie. And then, yeah, he comes across them. And I don't know what's going to happen here, but obviously Robert Patrick isn't going to be in future episodes, so I imagine he's probably just going to die somehow, right? But that is my prediction, is that he is a Reaper. It just seems a little, unless it's just a coincidence that they look the same, right? But they have a very similar look, and he's by himself. He has the weapons like that. I think there's a base nearby. I think they're out scouting and looking for Maggie. That other Reaper guy died. This guy, Robert Patrick's character, I don't know what his name is, but I'm sure we'll get it. Well, actually, we did get it. I just don't remember it. I do think he is a Reaper. And I do think the Reapers are going to play a role in like the transition of our current story into the Commonwealth story, much like the Wolves did, I would say, for the Savior arc, right? When the Wolves came around, everyone thought those were the Saviors, but it ended up being entirely different. It was this new idea, I guess, made by Gimple, and they were pretty cool, right? The Wolves were a really interesting idea, and it kind of served as this transition into the Savior arc. It was a small little group, and I think the Reapers are going to be the same thing. It's going to be this small group that they have to deal with, because again, I pointed this out yesterday. In the Commonwealth arc, we have a few characters like Eugene, Ezekiel, and them. They are with the Commonwealth right now. They are going to travel there in episode 20, and we might not see the Commonwealth. Like, we could see it in that episode, but more of like maybe at the end they arrive there and we just see it from afar. But in season 11, the final season, we are actually going to go there. The issue with that, and the issue with telling the story there, is that our characters are going to be there for quite a while. And I think this is the issue with the comic, was that there was nothing interesting going on back in Alexandria, besides them rebuilding and besides Rick just moping around because Andrea died. I'm not making fun of him or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, he was moping around because Andrea died. And there was really nothing else to it. It was pretty, I would say for the most part, boring. A lot of people didn't like that part. As soon as we started to get more into the Commonwealth arc, then it got a lot more interesting before it started to get stale again. But I think the Reapers are an awesome answer to that. The Reapers, I think if you're introducing this idea that they followed Maggie and then eventually find their way to the hilltop, or not hilltop, but Alexandria, that is something you can deal with early on in season 11 and maybe partly in these 6 new episodes, right? Until the Commonwealth arrive and they're just so much better because they have just much better technology. They take out the Reapers, and then, yeah, it's just as simple as that, right? Like, it's going to be a very small group, definitely. The Reapers aren't like the Commonwealth. They're not going to have this army, but yeah, definitely look out for the Reapers. They are going to be playing a bigger role. I wasn't expecting this at all. I thought they were just going to jump right into the Commonwealth arc, but that's the thing with Angela Kang, is she does come up with a lot of original material. A lot of Here's Negan is actually original. She said that some of it is like, obviously they took certain elements from the Here's Negan comic, but most of it is original to the show. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm interested in what's going to happen here. And I will raise the question, I don't think it's really possible, but I did mention that Robert Patrick's character could be a Reaper. Well, what if he is the Pope that marked them, right? Like, when he said Pope marked you, I think that really hints that they do have a leader of some sort, and it was the leader that marked them. The question is, are we going to see that leader at all on the show? And I think it's possible it is him. So yeah, I'll leave that there. Like, do you think he is the Pope that marked Maggie? Do you think, because the thing about that episode is that he does criticize a lot of Gabriel's faith, right? Gabriel's a priest, and he does criticize like his beliefs and stuff like that. That's kind of a big part of the episode. Well, if he is a part of the Reapers, they could be into some, darker stuff, and the idea of this priest, right? I'm pretty sure, I don't know what religion Father Gabriel is, but just seeing a priest like that, he kind of laughs at it. And I think that's why they're going to get into this whole debate about evil, good and evil and stuff. And Father Gabriel's the good, and this guy here is the evil, right? I mean, his face is a little burnt and stuff, so he fits the part. And so the idea that he could be maybe the Pope in that group, that it kind of makes sense. But he is also on his own here, and I imagine someone like that could be well protected. So I don't really know, but I do think he is a part of the group. Anyways, I'll leave it here. Post all your thoughts down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.